So, real quick, I want to answer this question I've been getting. You know, producers actually ask me this all the time. Should you get a manager? Do you need a manager as a music producer? Um, it's an interesting question. I think there's no one. This is one of those questions that there's no one right answer that fits all. I think it's really more important that you understand your situation. So, in terms of me and my production partner, we're in a space now where we're saying, we want to get a manager. You know what I mean? But at one time, I didn't need a manager. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want one. But it depends on what your goals are, right? So if you're just selling your beats on the internet, right? If you're just selling your beats online, then you don't really need a manager. Well, you need a fucking manager to sell your beats on the internet. You advertise and go to your Glassdoor player, go to your beat site. But if you're looking for more industry work, it's not a bad idea to get a qualified manager because they may be able to get in doors you can't necessarily get into. And I look at it like this. To me, my manager, that for me, not for everybody, but for me, a manager in terms of that works with me will be a person that's almost like my salesman. It's like having a salesman out there for your music. You know what I'm saying? So I have a catalog of music, and I'm not on the phone calling a bunch of motherfuckers, and I got time for all that. So that's just one another avenue. I can have a salesman out there working the music. If they get a sale, they can get a commission. I'm fine with that. They get a placement, and they're working avenues that are for larger opportunities, right? I don't need somebody on there to work my beats to make $300 with it. Why the fuck would I have that? But if I need somebody that can get me some real money, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 or more for a track or multiple tracks, then it's worth it. So for me, I definitely like the idea of a great manager that believes in the vision, that believes in the music. I think you can't go wrong. Now you have to make sure it's the right type of deal. So always consult a lawyer and 2 lawyers if possible, so that way you don't get signed into some shit to where you stuck and you know they're getting percentage of too much percentage, or getting you can't do other things that will bring you income without them getting a cut. So you got to make sure that it's the right type of deal, but at the same time a great management can take you further than where you can take yourself. So management to me, if you have a certain type of goal, I'm not against having a manager. I'm all for it, but it has to be too. It can't be my cousin that just trying to do some shit. They talking about they gonna manage me. So I ain't talking about that type of shit. And that's the thing that a lot of producers go wrong, and artists too, is that they go get cousin Bobo or their homeboy that want to be a manager. Nah, if you gonna manage me in my career, you got to be experienced. You got to have connections. You got to already show proof that you know what you're doing. Because I don't need a manager starting their management career off with me. For what? I'm not a new booty in the game. I need somebody that understands how this thing works, that understands my vision, and can execute and get in there and run their mouth and get the sale, get the deals done. So the type, you can't. Everybody wants to have this label like, oh, I'm a manager. You know what I'm saying? I'm management. I see people. Sometimes I will see people and they be like, oh, this is my manager. What the fuck do they do? What qualifications do they have? What do they know about actually managing and building a career? Management is an important thing. So if they're not bringing opportunities, your homeboy management, that type of shit, man, I'm not really for that unless a person is really, really qualified and have put the work in and knows the game and has the connection to take to the next level. I really don't consider that management, you know what I'm saying? And handle the day-to-day operations. Now, management for a producer is a lot different than management for an artist. We don't need as much as an artist would need in terms of day-to-day operations. So a manager for us is more or less somebody who can get our music in the right places. Get a major artist to be able to hear our music, to be able to call major artists and say, hey, I got some producers that you need to work with, and then they can connect you. I can walk you to record labels and say, okay, we need to cut some kind of deal here because they got some great catalog of music, and we know you got a stable of artists. But to me, that's what a manager for a music producer would need to be doing. Now, do you need one? Let me clarify that. You don't need one. There's a lot of great producers that don't have management. But I think personally that if you want to get to a certain level, then you're going to want management to help you execute your vision, because you don't want to be, you want to be, ultimately you need to be in the studio making hits. You don't need to be doing too much of the business side that you don't have to do, that you can delegate to somebody else that can do a great job at it, right? So if you have somebody focusing on getting your catalog out there and getting it sold, getting you great deals, they focus on that 24/7 while you focus on just making the great music 24/7. That's a great partnership right there. That's something that can work, because at the end of the day, a lot of producers make this mistake too, is they don't put people in place, and so now they doing all the business stuff and all this stuff, but they don't realize you got to be in the studio making the music. You still the creator. right? You still got to create great music. That's why a lot of the super producers, by the time they become super producers, they ain't even making the beats no more, because they're like, I ain't got time to really do the music side of it. They're not even making the music no more, because they like, I got to get other producers and delegate the music tasks too, because I got to do so much of the business side of this thing. So I think it's all about having the right people in place at the same time as we'll do to the next level. That's the way I think. I think in terms of how can I put people in place to get to this vision or to this next level. And to me, a manager can, or the right qualified man. That's why I keep hearing me say, because I don't want to think I'm talking about Cousin Bobo and them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the first thing a motherfucker think of is some shit that they think of they cut that talking about, let me manage you. No. You got to show them the vision. You got to have a goal. And you gotta make sure you pull motherfuckers' qualifications and credentials. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't got that, then you don't need to be they don't need to be handling your future like that. You know. So that's my opinion on do you need a manager. I think that, again, I said a lot, but the point is you can to get to a certain level. I think you can run to a situation where you may, really want a manager. But if you're just selling beats online right now, you're kind of content with that. You don't need a manager for that. But when you start wanting to expand to other deals and bigger deals, great management is good. And some people say, what about like an entertainment lawyer? Let them, get you indoors. I mean, great entertainment lawyers can do the same. They can get you indoors, but they're not managers in terms that, in a sense that they're managing your career. They're more so in the sense of they may connect you with some people. A great lawyer can really get you in the door in some places and make sure your contracts are right. But they're not responsible. When the title is not management, that means they're not responsible for all the criteria to reach all the criteria of management as a manager would, who's saying, I'm your manager. Your lawyer has to fit the criteria of what a lawyer does and what legal companies do for music producers. And they're two different things. They may overlap, but in terms of what they're responsible for are different. So should you have an entertainment lawyer? I believe so. I